everyone, Milan here. And Past Life just recently concluded. I will never mentally recover from how it did. But after that, I was thinking, who is most likely to win the next season of the Life series? So right here, I have the faces of all of the Life series members, Minecraft skins, and I'm going to rank them from least likely to win to most likely. So, yeah, I'm just going to say that I have a gut feeling that in the next season, there's going to be a new person introduced to the Life series. I'm probably going to be wrong, but if I'm right, I'm going to brag about it a lot. But I do predict that if there is a new person, they are not going to win. But they would likely make it far unless they, added Mog Swamp, and then he becomes the new Jimmy. So, yeah, let's get her ranked. I have this image right here as a reference for what the main tactics of each of the members are. So, yeah. Let's get her ranked. Last place is going to none other than LD Shadow Lady. Lizzie, I feel like, can do this, but I personally feel she isn't dedicated enough to the Life series because she's only appeared in 3 seasons. She did make a cameo in Limited Life, but that's about it. And in Past Life, she didn't make a cameo at all. We didn't even know why she wasn't there. And even when Joel was gone, she didn't substitute for him despite, them being married. Instead, we had the Mustachioed Man. And Lizzie's Life series placements are not very good. Her first season was Last Life, which she got 13th in, which was 5th last, I believe. Which, given, wasn't really her fault, because her dying to B-dubs wasn't her fault at all. She just got ambushed and died. But at the same time, it could have been prevented by not falling for the trap that Jimmy had set inside of her base, which put her down to red in the first place. And 13th is definitely not a good placement. Then Secret Life was even worse, with her getting 17th out of everyone, being last place, which happened because she went to the end and I believe was hoping to kill Scott, then accidentally looked at an Enderman and was hit off and met her demise. Then she got 13th in Wildlife, which is her best performance probably, with that being 6th last. And it wasn't even her fault that she died once again, because it was all Jimmy's fault that he had blown up Green with something that Green had set up for him, and then Green blew up the BAM bunker and Lizzie just happened to be in there too and died alongside Jimmy, but ended up placing lower than Jimmy because her death message was in chat first, so I counted her as dying before Jimmy did. Her average is about 14.3 placement, which puts her at 17th. Her best win condition is social, which isn't the best, but it's also not the worst. Lizzie can have a decent chance, but she can be a bit reckless, and I also don't think that she's dedicated enough to do it. Not too high above her is none other than Mumbo Gumbo. Mumbo, like Lizzie, only appeared in 3 seasons. Well, competed in 3 seasons, I should say. and did not do good in any of them. But like Lizzie, he also did make a cameo in a season he wasn't in. Instead of Limited Life, it was Past Life. But he did sub in for 2 different people across different sessions, despite being like up in the mountains. Which shows that and obviously he couldn't compete, but it shows a level of dedication that he was able to come in 2 different sessions to substitute for 2 of his friends. Last Life, he placed 16th, second last, because after seeing Grian murder Jimmy for punching him, he thought it was a good idea to punch Grian. Big mistake. Then in Secret Life, it wasn't much better because he placed 15th after going back in to the warden. Actually, that might have been Jimmy, but he was around the warden, and then he ended up running into his own fence post and then got murdered, which put him at 3rd last. Then Wildlife was his worst placement of all, 18th place last. So, based on his placements, you can probably tell that Mumbo hasn't done as good as Lizzie. His average is around 16.3, which is very bad, putting him at last place out of everyone. But I do feel that he has a higher level of dedication to the series. And also, with his technical background, he could get far by trapping a lot of people, and potentially he could just try staying out of the radar. The ideal way to win a season of the Life series is getting in a team with one other person you can really trust and getting allied with as many people as possible. But we saw in Mumbo's first season, Last Life, he was in the Southlands, which was way too big of a team, and ended up having a lot of conflict because of it. Then Secret Life, I have no clue what team he was on, because frankly, Secret Life is the worst season. Then Wildlife, he was on the Spanners, which was a decent team to be on. But he was with Skiz, who, I'll just say, isn't very good. You're going to be seeing him soon. And Grian, who definitely helped him out, but in the end, he ended up placing last. But I feel that Mumbo has more dedication and maybe has less potential than Lizzie, but I feel like he's more likely to pull it off. Either way, the 2 of them likely will not win the next season, and I am not even sure if they will be in the next season. Moving up to C tier, we are going to start with Skizzleman. Skiz, the thing immediately holding him back is he has not discovered a win condition for himself. He has done somewhat decently at PvP. He was the first, he eliminated the first 2 outs inside of 3rd Life, but then he lost a fight to Grian. Then Last Life, 3rd Life he was 12th place, so 3rd last. Then Last Life he was 15th. I don't remember exactly how he died, but I'm pretty sure it's because he lost the fight, which put him at 3rd last once again. Then he wasn't in Double Life, but based on all the seasons people have competed in, I feel like it's because if he was in it, there would be a odd amount of people in it. Lizzie and Mumbo didn't return, and there were 14 people in it, and I feel like Skiz probably wanted to be in Double Life, but there wasn't anyone else who could pair up with him, so he just chose to take one for the team and not participate in the season, which is honorable, but it also means that he's gotten less experience. Then he got 13th in Limited Life after being close to death and sacrificing himself for Etho, Then Secret Life, he got 13th. Once again, I do not remember how. Then Real Life, he got 9th, which was 4th last. Then 17th in Wild Life, which was 2nd last. Then 11th in Simple Life, which was 3rd last. And 11th in Past Life, which was 5th last. So his best placement was 9th place, but that was in a season with only 13 people in it. So Skizz clearly hasn't done very well, and his average placement is 12.625, putting him at 16th out of everyone. He hasn't discovered a win condition, and is not good at PvP for how reckless he is, but at the same time, he's also too forgiving. Like, in Wild Life, Grian was willing to sacrifice his life to Skizz so Skizz could get another life, but Skizz refused and decided to try to kill someone else, and he ended up dying to a TNT minecart of his own. So, Skizz, he's too reckless and also too forgiving at the same time, and really hasn't discovered a good win condition. But, unlike Lizzie and Mumbo, he has been in almost every single season, including the April Fool's specials. He was only not in Double Life, which I discussed already. I think Skizz could potentially just win because he's just out mining or something, and then the last two people are having a brawl. One of them kills the other, but right before they killed them, that other person hit them with their knockback sword, and they killed the other person, but then they go flying off of a mountain and die to fall damage, which ends up leaving Skizz as the only person alive, making him the winner. As soon as Skizz discovers a good win condition, I feel like he could have a pretty good chance, but he just hasn't placed well enough for me to consider putting him any higher. Next up is Tango Tech. Tango has done better than Skizz, but not by too much. He placed 8th inside of 3rd Life, which was, I believe, because he lost a fight to Ren. Then he got 11th in Last Life, which wasn't very good. Then 13th in Double Life, which really wasn't his fault. To clarify, for the Double Life placements, I'm putting the people who made them lose their final life one spot lower than the other. So, like, Jimmy was the one who died in the end of Double Life, so he's 14th. But Tango died along with him because they were soulmates, so he gets 13th. So Tango, it wasn't his fault they got eliminated, but he also was the cause of their first death. Then he got 10th in Limited Life, which his elimination was honestly kind of sad, because he was trying to kill Scar, and then he jumped off of a ledge too high and died to hitting the ground too hard. Then Secret Life, he got 14th because he was, I believe, extremely low, and then Scar suggested that he burns down the globe, and then Scar spleefed him, and he died. Then he got 6th in Wild Life, which was pretty good, but he also did make quite a few enemies. He didn't compete in Real Life. So, then his best placement was in Simple Life, where he got all the way up to 4th. His downfall ended up being that he killed Scar when he was on Yellow. And then Scar wanted revenge, and because he was now red, he killed Tango, and Scar is generally better at PvP than Tango is. And Tango, I believe, was already a bit low, so that ended up being the end of him. And then he got 16th in Past Life, which was last place, because he failed to kill someone on Boogie, and then ended up blowing up to a creeper. So, Tango, his strength is technical, so potentially he could do good as being a trapper. I feel like he's a bit too reckless for the level of PvP that he is at. So, I don't think he has a very likely chance of winning a next season, but at least he's discovered his win condition. I mean, hopefully he has. Everyone else has. I guess I should mention his average is 10.25, putting him at 14th out of everyone. So, not the best. Next up, may surprise some people, but I'm going to pick B-Dubs. B-Dubs got third in Third Life, fittingly enough. He basically, just lived it out to the final 5, then, Scar got his hands on the clock and gave it to him. So he betrayed Impulse, and then Scar, Green, and him were on the same side, so they went out to kill Big B, and then he ended up being killed next out of the 3. So, that was his best performance. Dang, he really peaked in the first season. Then he got 12th in Last Life, which was pretty bad, but got up to 6th in Double Life. He potentially could have gotten higher, but his PvP level just wasn't good enough, and him and Impulse facing Pearl ended up both losing because Pearl was a beast in Double Life. Then he placed 11th in Limited Life after having a TNT minecart dropped on him, getting 4th last. Then in Secret Life, he got all the way up to 6th, which was a good placement. He wasn't in Real Life, but then got a 7th place in Wildlife, which was pretty good. I believe the way he died was because he was up on the TNT minecart tower with Joel and Grian, and then Tango threw a wind charge, and the only person it killed was B-Dubs. Might have been someone else, but I'm pretty sure it was B-Dubs. Then Simple Life, he got 14th place, which was last. And Past Life, he got 9th, which I see as karma, because he teamed up with Scar on Big B and killed him, and then he got teamed up on by Cleo and Martin and killed. So I see that as karma, personally. His average is 8.5, putting him at 10th out of everyone, which puts him barely in the lower half of everyone. The reason I'm putting him this low is he's reckless. He's also a traitor. The reason he got out of Last Life was because he betrayed Lizzie for seemingly no reason. And Impulse still holds grudges for him betraying Impulse in Third Life. And I'm pretty sure I already said this, but he's too reckless. And also has not discovered a win condition. So, yeah. B-Dubs definitely has potential, but to unlock that potential, he definitely needs to discover a win condition first. Last one I am going to put in C tier is Big B. Big B, as I mentioned, placed 4th place in Third Life, which was, like B-Dubs, his best placement, but it does feel like it's just a big outlier because he missed a session and then he ended up just surviving until the final 5. Then Impulse was betrayed and the other 3 were on the same side and went out to kill him. Then placed 10th in Last Life, I believe, which was because Cleo was salty after Big B killed her as Boogie, which, frankly, I don't blame on Big B too much, because your allegiances are broken as Boogie at least at that time. And he was running out of time to kill someone and just chose to kill his teammate, but Cleo ended up holding the grudge and was the one who ended up eliminating Big B. Then he got 11th in double life, which, once again, I don't blame on him. I blame that on Grian, because Grian just dropped a dripstone on Ren, forgetting that he was soulmates with Big B, who was his ally. So I blame his death on Grian there. Then he placed 7th in limited life. He played a good game in limited life, but that's just how the cookie crumbled. Then 10th in secret life, which was pretty decent, I'd say. Then got 6th in real life, which was pretty good, but only got 15th in wildlife, which was bad. His worst placement. Before getting 5th place in simple life, I believe, because he was killed by Scott. Because in every single life series, they have to kill Scott, even if it's an April Fool's special. Then past life, he ended up placing 10th. I believe that it was because he fell down a dripstone trap, but I'm not sure. Oh yeah, right, he was teamed up on by B-Dubs and Scar. I already said this. How did I forget? Whatever. So, his average placement is 8.6 repeating, which puts him at 11th out of everyone. The reason I rank him this low is that as a social person, like, it's a decent win condition, but it's also not the best one. And people who are below him in averages, I feel like, have more potential. So I end up placing Big B right here. Next up, we will move up to the B tier. The first member who I am going to place in this tier is none other than Ren Diggity Dog. Ren placed 7th in third life because he lost a fight to Scar. And I also kind of blame that on him because he chose to have Martin kill him to put him down to red so he could be the Red King. And then he proceeded to lose a battle to Scar. Scar isn't even really the best at PvP, and PvP is Ren's strongest trait. So, that was kind of sad, to be honest. Then double life, he placed 12th, which was third last, because Grian dropped the dripstone on him. Then he wasn't in limited or secret life because he was training. Then when he came back in real life, he got 8th, which was pretty good. Then getting 3rd in wildlife because out of the mob who was trying to kill Grian and Joel, he just ended up being the last one standing. But then in simple life, he only got 13th, which was second last, and in past life, he got 15th, which was also second last, after being blown up in the lighthouse while trying to set a trap. I could say that I don't blame it on him, but at the same time, he's been up there before. He should be suspicious about a new trapdoor, but he just opens it and gets blown to smithereens. I think Ren has some good potential, but he just hasn't done well enough for me to place him higher. He has gotten good placements, but he's also gotten very bad placements, which drag down his average a lot, which puts him at about 8.57, which leaves him at 13th out of everyone. I think something that could definitely work for Ren is getting in a team with someone he can really trust, probably Martin, and then Martrin could do pretty good. They could try to ally with as many people as possible, and I feel like that would leave a pretty good potential for Ren to win. Next up on the list of tiers is Etho. So, I see Ethos having a lot of potential, but based on everyone else that there is, I feel like this is where he ends up placing. He got 9th in third life, I believe, because he lost a fight. Then 6th in last life, because he got killed by Joel. Then in 8th life, then in double life, he got 8th because, for some reason, after, Etho and Joel's portal was trapped by Grian, they decided to both try to swim in the lava and died because of it. Then limited life, he got 5th, which was his highest placement, followed by 12th in secret life, which wasn't very good. Then he wasn't in real life, got an 8th placement in wildlife, which was pretty good. Then, pretty decent actually. Then he wasn't in simple life, but then in past life he got 13th, which was 4th last, because he fell in the same 1x1 dripstone trap twice. Etho never had a higher potential for winning than past life, but he threw it all away the second that he betrayed Grian. The Villies were then all against him, and he was in denial that he was getting kicked out, and then he managed to fall for the same trap twice, and he just wasn't looking out for it because he had blocked it up before. So that ended up resulting in Etho having a bad placement. His average is about 8.71, putting him at 12th. An interesting thing about Etho, he's the only person to have made it to the finale of every season without winning one. So, yeah. But at the same time, his main focus is technical, which and we haven't seen any technical focused people win a season before. He could manage to be a pretty good trapper, but he also has to be more aware of traps. And probably not betray people, because betraying the Villies ended up resulting in his downfall. Even if he didn't fall in the dripstone trap, he probably would have gotten murdered by Grian. So, I feel that that is where Etho ends up placing. So, we move up to Small Hines. Joel had a very bad placement in his first season of Third Life. Despite also missing a session like Big B, he ended up being eliminated because despite all of his dogs, he lost a fight and got 11th, which was 4th last. But he then placed 5th in last life despite being a red for most of the season because of his PvP specialty, but ended up just dying because the other 4 people who were left were all against him. He was kind of doomed the second that Grian died. Then double life, he placed 7th, which, like Etho, his death was stupid. But then he got 12th in limited life because he lost too many fights, and that resulted in him getting 3rd last. Before then getting 5th in secret life, which was pretty good. Then only 12th in real life, which was 2nd last. I believe it was because he was part of I believe it was because he was part of the club and he died shortly after Grian did. Then, everything lined up perfectly for him to win wildlife. He was the last yellow left, had a strong team with Gem, who he could trust, and other allies in the form of Grian. And it ended up just lining up perfectly for Joel to win that season. It shows exactly what his perfect win condition is. Then he got 7th in simple life, which his death was honestly kind of sad there because everyone was chasing after Scott. Grian fell off of the stuff in the sky and ended up surviving on half a heart. Then Joel fell off soonly after and did not make it. So that death was honestly kind of sad. But, yeah. I think he fell from a bit higher, but it might have been that he already had some damage on him. Or maybe even both. I don't know. But this is where I placed Joel. His PvP specialty is a good win condition, but he really needs to make things line up for him perfectly like he did in Wildlife if he wants to win another season. His average is 8th place, which annoyingly puts him at 9th. But yeah, Joel has already found out his potential, but I feel like he isn't in too desperate need of winning another season. So this is where I end up placing him. Now it's time for the biggest wild card in all of the Life series. Jimmy! Bet you never thought he would be this high, huh? Let's get the elephant in the room out of the way. He placed last in the first 4 seasons. 14th in Third Life because he died in the Battle of Red Desert because he failed to go down a stupid ladder. Then 17th in Last Life because he punched Grian just because he wanted him to land in his trap. Then 14th in Double Life, which was last yet again because he died to a stupid Enderman. Then 14th in Limited Life because he let go of Crouch while pushing down a TNT minecart, and despite having both a water bucket and an ender pearl in his hotbar, he died. Jimmy, that's just sad. That's sad. You should be ashamed of yourself. Then the streak was broken barely inside of Secret Life because he got 16th, which was second last, because after getting away from the warden, he decided to go back by it for the excitement, and yeah, he obviously died. Then Real Life, he got 7th, which was decent, before placing 12th in Wildlife, because he decided to launch a TNT minecart from something that Grian had set up for him to kill people at Grian. And Grian did not take that lightly and ended up blowing him up in the Bam bunker after Scar was eliminated, because Scar was the only person on that team that he cared about. Then he got 9th place in Simple Life, which might sound good, but that's 4th last. So, not really that good. But then the major outlier was Past Life, where he got 4th. 4th. After seeing how he performed in that season, I would say his win condition would probably be PvP, but it might be from trapping. He isn't the best PvPer, but he was able to take down a Pearl, which was impressive. But it probably had a lot to do with the fact that Pearl wasn't wearing armor. I kind of blame that on Pearl more than it being Jimmy being a beast. And then, in the final battle, Jem suggested that the two of them teamed up, but ended up killing him for Pearl, which proves that him killing Pearl was kind of an outlier, but the cards really lined up very well for him in Past Life. It's just he didn't have enough allies making it to the end of them while 2 of the Villies were still alive and mad at him for killing Pearl. I feel like one of the only things you would have to change for him to win is making him never drop the TNT minecart on the Villies, because that ended up resulting in Pearl trying to kill him, dying, and both of the remaining Villies wanting him dead. Given there's really no way that he could have predicted that, and he might have had less support if he didn't do it, but something that probably would have worked better for him is if he dropped it in a different place, so he only killed Grian and Jem, leaving Pearl at yellow so she couldn't kill him, and he would still get praise for killing 2 people. And he could say that him not killing Pearl was for strategy. And he would still receive a lot of praise, and his ego would be at a high. The reason I'm not placing Jimmy any higher is, well, he's done very bad in past seasons. His average is 11.8 repeating, which puts him at 15th out of everyone. And it could end up turning out that Wreck-Rap was actually playing Jimmy, and then he wasn't able to get him back for another season. So, yeah. I've been making jokes about who was playing Jimmy in that season, but it would be so much funnier if it turns out that someone else actually was playing him. Jimmy, I feel like, has potential, but Past Life could end up just being an outlier. I can't say for certain, because that amazing performance was just in his most recent season. So, we will see. That leaves us with our top 8, and moving up into the A tier. So I'm just gonna look back at that reference image. Okay. The next one I am going to place is Cleo. Cleo, let's start off with Third Life, where they got 13th place, so second last, which was by far her worst performance, before getting 8th in Last Life, which was pretty good. She just ended up really wanting to kill Big B and died shortly after doing so. Then Cleo got 4th in Double Life because somehow her and Martin failed to kill the beast that was Pearl in Double Life. Given, as I said, Pearl was a beast in Double Life, but at the same time, both of them are good PvPers. So yeah. Then she got 9th in Secret Life, which was pretty decent, before winning Real Life, which was obviously her best placement. Then she got 4th in Wildlife, which was good. Then 6th in Simple Life, which was decent. And 6th in Past Life because she fell for the Dripstone Trap at the Village base. Her main win condition is Social Game, which, as I've said before, isn't the best condition, but it's also not the worst. Cleo definitely has potential, but Real Life could have just ended up being an outlier because everyone was being a lot more reckless in that because they needed to fit it into one section because April Fool's is only one day long. As I said, Cleo has potential, but she has placed second last in the season before, which makes me inclined to put her down a bit. Her average is 6.5 repeating, which puts her at 6th out of everyone. So yeah, moving on to Good Times with Scar. Scar in the Third Life got 2nd, but he was honestly hard carried by Gran there. Without Gran, I feel like he probably would have placed around 8th because he would have just ended up being alone, but without the Creeper death, which was the reason that Gran teamed up with him in the first place because he felt bad. But he likely would have still died in the ravine, and without Gran, the people probably wouldn't have ended up dying to that TNT minecart trap. So Scar, I feel like he was really hard carried by Gran there. Then was eliminated in the Last Life because he lost a fight. Double Life, he placed 9th because he was mainly carried by Gran that season, causing their first 2 deaths. But Gran did take the blame for the Skulk Sensor death, and also was the reason that they ended up being eliminated from that season because he was trying to lure Warden up to the surface. Then Scar placed 9th once again in Limited Life after being betrayed by Gran. Gran and Scar are always together in the Life series, my goodness. Then Secret Life, Scar played his cards perfectly at a socially based person in the Life series, being alone for most of the season, but getting a lot of allies, and in the end, Pearl and him killed Gem because Gem had betrayed Pearl before, and then he ended up beating Pearl in a fight. So Scar played his cards perfectly in that season, in my opinion. Moving on, real life, he placed 11th, which was third last, because once again, he was a member of the club, and the club, when they tried to kill people in the mine shaft, it went badly for them. Then wildlife, he placed 14th because he died to a snail. He was playing his cards pretty well in that one, he just wasn't being aware enough, which ended up resulting in him dying to his snail in the end. Then simple life, he got third, which was pretty good. He ended up losing because after he had killed Tango, Grian killed him. Then past life, he got 8th place because he was at the titanium egg when Scott blew it up and he died. So he has placed decently for the most part, averaging at 7.3 repeating, and putting him at 7th out of everyone. So Scar has definitely done good. I just don't know if he can stack his cards together correctly to win again. And he's definitely dragged down a bit by getting 9th 3 times in a row, and also his 11th and 14th placements. But he has still gotten 1st, 2nd, and 3rd across different ones. So Scar definitely has the potential, and I would be looking out for him. Other people I would probably be looking out for are Jimmy and Etho. Those two probably more than Scar, but I feel like Scar could surprise us again. Next up is a placement that may surprise some people, because 6th place, I'm going to put Pearl. Pearl, I really feel, has been falling off in the Life series. She started off at a 4th place in Last Life because I believe she was eliminated after losing a fight to Ren. Or it might have been Scott, but I think it was Ren. Then she was a beast in Double Life, got all the way up to 1st place. Then in Limited Life, she got up to 4th, which was once again good, but she got killed by Scott. Then in Secret Life, she got 2nd, which was good, but I feel like it was all downhill from there. Real Life, she placed 5th, which was good, then 5th again in Wildlife, but then in Simple Life, she got 10th, which was 5th last, and Past Life, she got 14th after being killed by Jimmy, giving her 3rd last. Pearl is definitely a good player, but I feel like she's been falling off in recent seasons, but based on how she's done before, she definitely can win a season. It's just, based on the statistics, she's been doing less good recently. Before Past Life, based on the averages, she was 2nd highest, but afterwards, she had dropped down to 4th. Wait a second. I just realized something. I'm an idiot. She's actually in 3rd. My apologies. But she still did drop down from before, with her average being at 5.625, which 3rd is still a good placement, but she has fallen, which is definitely noteworthy. That leaves us with 5 previous winners besides Impulse. Impulse, I definitely think, has a lot of potential, but I'm going to be putting him at the top of A tier. Impulse, his main tactic is ingenuity, which, based on what we've seen in the Life series, is the... Wait. I'm just realizing that I just said Gem was a previous winner. I mean, Gem has definitely gotten close to winning, but not yet. My bad. Anyway, Impulse. He got fifth and third life after being betrayed by B-Dubs, then 14th and last life after getting killed by Scott, 5th and double life after him and B-Dubs got killed by Pearl, then got all the way up to 2nd in limited life, which I do not blame him at all for. Impulse played perfectly in limited life, but ended up just losing because Martin decided to not be honorable, which given was completely legal, but also it frustrates me. Then in Secret Life, Impulse got up to 7th, which was pretty decent. Then 10th in Real Life, I believe, because he was part of the club. But I don't remember too much about Real Life, to be honest. That was 4th last. Then Wildlife, he got 11th, which placed him at 7th last. Then Impulse wasn't in Simple Life, but in Past Life got all the way up to 7th place, which was pretty decent. He just lost a fight to Scott once again. I feel like Impulse could use a little bit of an improvement on PvP, and also he should probably be avoiding Scott. But his average is 7.625, putting him at 8th out of everyone, but I see a lot of potential within Impulse. And with him not winning yet, I feel like he is going to be fighting harder because other people, they want to win, but they don't want it as much as him because he hasn't won yet. Now we move up to S tier with the 4, which I see as having the most potential for winning the next season. First up is Martin. Martin! Where do we start? Well, where I always start. Martin got 6th and 3rd life because he lost a fight to Scar. Then 3rd and last life because he blew up himself with an end crystal. Then 3rd and double life because, along with Cleo, they lost to Pearl. Then 1 limited life because in the final 3 he decided to not be honorable and murdered both Scott and Impulse. Then in Secret Life, he placed 11th, which was not very good. That put him at 6th last. But in Real Life, he got all the way up to 4th, which was a good placement. Then getting 16th in Wildlife, which was bad, which put him at 3rd last. And it was because, I believe, Zombie Mumbo was fighting him, and then he blew up himself with his own creeper. Then Secret Life, he got 12th, which put him at 3rd last, before winning Past Life because Grian did not realize he was still alive. If Grian did not think that Martin was still alive, he probably would have lost. But that was how the cookie crumbled, and his average is currently at 6.3 repeating, putting him at 5th out of everyone. He has done very good in most of his seasons, it's just he's dragged down by 3 bad performances. One of which it wasn't an April Fool's, which I don't really discredit him for, and then Secret and Wild, but all of these are just around the same period. But we saw that Real Life's, his 4th placement shows that he was still a good player around then, and Past Life showed him playing his cards very well, despite not really having too many allies left in the final 5. Killing Scott, immediately when in that final 5 duel was definitely a good decision because Scott was a big threat. So, yeah. Speaking of Scott, we're going to put him at 3rd. Scott is the most impressive player in the Life series. Let's just get that out of the way. 3rd Life, he got 10th, which was after he avenged Jimmy. He got killed. And 10th is not the best, but that's also his worst placement ever. Then in Last Life, he got 1st before getting 2nd in Double Life, then 3rd in Limited Life, then 4th in Secret Life, Yes, first, second, third, fourth, back to back to back to back. Then he got second in real life, which was pretty good. In the final duel, he just ended up losing to Cleo. Before getting a 10th place in wildlife, which was one of his worst placements, but that still only puts him at like 9th last. So, not too bad. Scott then proceeded to win Simple Life and got 5th in Past Life because he really didn't have too many allies left in that final 5 and just ended up getting killed by Martin. Scott's average is at 4.2 repeating, which puts him at 1st place. But with him already winning 2 seasons and are also winning Double Life in some people's eyes, along with Pearl, he might not care too much about winning another season, but he is a huge threat. His main tactic is Ingenuity, which is the best strat, and he's also extremely good at PvP. So Scott is definitely someone we should be looking out for. I just don't think he has as much motivation as the remaining 2 to win. Second place, I am putting none other than Grain. Grain, the creator of the Life series, we know for certain that he's going to be in the next season. If there is a next season, which there most likely is going to be, he knows how popular this thing is. And if he doesn't make another season, I feel like they might just continue it without him. He placed 1st in Third Life. He did very good inside of Third Life. I've already mentioned the best way to win, and he did exactly that. He teamed up with Scar because he felt like he was in debt to him, and the 2 of them could trust each other. And also he had some strong allies, like with Scott. Then in Last Life, he got 7th. He was just kind of too much of a villain in that season. And when his trap failed, him going out to fight was honestly a dumb idea. He should have just left Joel to die, to be honest. And then just set a lot of traps and then like maybe go somewhere high up on like a sky base and try to shoot people off when they try to get to him. It probably wouldn't work too well for him, but he would still probably place higher than he did in canon. Then he got 10th in Double Life. He was carrying Scar for most of that, but him deciding to try to bring a warden to the surface was his downfall. Then he got 6th in Limited Life because he fell off and then landed on like the only block that wasn't water, which was kind of stupid, but he still did make it very far. And after his teammates died, he joined a new team, which was a pretty good decision, in my opinion. Then in Secret Life, he got 8th place. I feel like there isn't really too much he could have done to prevent that. He tried to kill Jem and the Scots, and it didn't work. And then he tried hiding away, but Jem found him. And with the 3 of them fighting him, he had no chance. And they were just taking turns swinging at him. But he did do a lot of damage to them, and he fought basically as well as he could. Then his worst placement by far, Real Life, he got 13th, which was last place, because the club decided to try to ambush some people, and he died. Then Wild, Simple, and Past Life, 3 seasons in a row, he was able to get 2nd place, which was incredibly impressive. Wildlife, once again, after his team had died, he found a new team to ally with, which was a smart decision, and ended up just dying because he made a bad decision in the end, because he decided to shoot at Joel from up a tree, and then when Joel got up there, he just launched Green off, which resulted in his death. I feel like Green's best course of action there would to be having a gentleman's duel with Joel instead of trying to shoot him to death. But it's not entirely his fault. Then Simple Life, he ended up just losing because he lost the duel to Scott because he was out of food. And his golden apple didn't help him very much. Then Past Life, he fought extremely well. His downfall was that he thought that Martin had died, and then he decided to try an MLG, which was a pretty dumb decision, but he did end up succeeding in it. But Martin just proceeded to immediately start swinging at him, because as we've seen, Martin is not honorable. He, in the end, I believe, was one hit away from killing Martin, but he did lose the duel inside of the square hole. All he really had to do to win Past Life was pay attention to chat, and when he saw that Martin didn't die, it would have resulted in him not hitting Gem into the square hole, and then the two of them would kill Martin and then have a honorable duel, and Green would have probably won that, but if he didn't, his teammates still would have won. His average placement is 5.6 repeating, which puts him at 4th, but he's not far behind Pearl and is approaching her. Green, I see, has a lot of potential for winning, but probably not the most potential, because in first place, Gemini Tay. Gem was not in the first 4 seasons. She did make a cameo in Limited Life and replaced Cleo. I believe that after that, she was probably just interested in the Life series and then ended up joining in Secret Life. Her downfall was betraying Pearl, which ended up resulting in her siding against Gem and killing her. Then in Real Life, she got 3rd because in the final duel, she died first out of the 3 of them. Then Wildlife, she got 9th place, which was pretty decent. She made a good team decision with Joel because they could trust each other, but ended up just not living as long as Joel ended up doing. Then Simple Life, she got 8th, which was pretty decent, and got a 3rd placement in Past Life, which was good. It's entirely Green's fault that she died. Her average placement is 5.2, which puts her at 2nd out of everyone. And I see her as having the highest potential out of everyone who has not won. She is the highest placing one on average by quite a bit. Impulse is the next closest person, but he just places 8th out of everyone. So Gem, I definitely see as having a lot of potential. She needs to, even though she didn't win it, I feel like Wildlife was one of her better choices in seasons with her teaming up with Joel. If she teamed up with one other person she can really trust, or maybe even 2, like she did in Past Life, she could definitely win a season, and all she really needs to do is not cross anyone, and she will have a very high chance of winning. So I will definitely be looking out for Gem inside of the next season, and this is my final ranking. Make sure to study this. It will be on the test. I'm Milan. Thank you all for watching, and bye.